pants.
I've never seen something more Leisha Hailey
Thank you.
than this shirt.
My sister found this at a thrift,
Your
like
sister
a garage sale in Nebraska.
is the queen.
She actually
of
got it for
thrifting.
Kim, and it didn't fit Kim, and I was like, "Thank God," because I love it. Give it to me.
Why didn't it fit Kim? You guys were
I
the
don't
same
know.
size.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just things fit. She just, I don't know. She didn't feel good in it.
Well, it suits you.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Okay. Jesus. Lord, what's with the problems lately? Okay. I want to talk about voting.
We should. Very
Here's-
important.
Very important. So we're going to give everybody like
A bunch of information.
a bunch of information. I'm
where
never
to
looking
vote.
at my phone like whenever I'm doing this on pants, I'm reading something having to do
I'm going to
with.
help read this. Okay.
Do you want to hear my story
I would.
or do you want to read first?
No, I want to hear your story. What's your
Okay,
story about voting?
Here's what happened to me. So I've been a California registered voter since, when did I move here? In 97.
Okay.
Okay. I vote every election. I vote at the primaries. I vote at the local elections. Like, I'm a hardcore voter. You can see on Instagram, I wear my sticker every
Yeah.
time. This has been me. I go last primaries, right?
Yeah.
And local people I had to elect. And I went to my library. No, this time it was a high school. That's what it was. It was at a high school, like, I don't know, 10 blocks that way. And I was like, oh, weird. I've never been to this location. I pull over because I didn't early vote, right? And so I'm the only one in there. I'm the only one. It's like when it's like a basketball court,
Wow.
like seats, and there's like 15 people there to sign you up or
Sure.
sign you in, and nobody's there. And I'm like, okay, well, it's like a local election. I don't think they're as popular, right? I go in, I give my ID, and they're like, oh, we can't find you. And I was like, oh, weird. Well, check this. Or did you ever change addresses? Well, 12 years ago, but I've been voting, over here. Da-da-da. Nothing. They can't find me. They're like, da-da-da-da-da. Can't find me. And I was like, no, I'm like literally like registered. Like so like, let's try an old address. Let's try, what else did we try? Is there a different, let's try it with your middle name or not your middle name, or they tried every which way. Then all 15 people, because they weren't doing anything else because nobody else was in there, are gathered around this computer trying to find me.
Okay.
And telling each other, oh, go through check in this place or check on that thing, or, never found me. I was non-existent. Nothing. So I had to re-register to vote.
What?
That day in order to vote. I was like, here are my here's me. And they're like, no, we believe you. We just can't find you.
You would think California of all states would have more protections. We're this progressive state. It's blue. Everyone feels like, oh, California, it's sort of its own thing. It happened to you here.
Yeah, and my point is like, I
nothing
mean,
is safe is what your
I
point
was really
is.
scared when I left.
Well, okay.
And now I'm getting my mail again that I'm registered, but I'm like, it would have never occurred to me that something would have happened like that, a glitch, because
you know what? Thank you for sharing that
So I
story.
just wanted to tell everybody.
Because I just
because
recently,
it happened to me personally.
just-
Look into it.
I'm
Are you
going to.
registered?
I
Don't
just-
assume you are.
because we recently moved, I am actually going to go home today and make sure. I'm glad you shared that story. Okay. Speaking of which, we have some information then. So this thing doesn't happen to anyone else, because it is going to happen because other states are
just make sure you're registered. Like, just
right,
double
but
check.
certain states are more difficult than
Of
others,
course.
let's face it. So you can register to vote at vote.gov. Some states, the deadline has already passed by the time we're airing. So I'm hoping anyone who's listening is registered already. And some states,
or they still have a chance too if they haven't.
right. And some states have a deadline as of October 16th.
That's huge.
So October 16th is the deadline to vote. Just
to register.
To register to vote for safety's sake, just October 16th. So if you're listening today, or watching this morning, please check your registration. Also, the HRC website has a voting center. So you go to hrc.org, click on the voting center, and you can register to vote, or you can check your voting registration status. You get information about early voting, mail-in ballots, and everything else. If you're looking to donate, because there is still time.
I'm a big believer in early voting, if you can.
Huge believer in early voting, just because
get it in.
It's protected. You don't have to think about it. You've done your part as a citizen.
But if you can't,
I remember voting. I didn't do early voting. I think it was in 2008 for Obama, and the line was like blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks, because everyone was so amped to vote that year. And we should be amped to vote this year, because this year fucking counts.
Amped is one word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think the point is, like, make sure you're registered. Don't assume you are, because things are happening these days that are scary.
Like,
just check it out. Am I
Oof.
What? Did I give you anxiety?
Yeah,
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's scary.
I thought I told you that story because I was so freaked out.
You never shared that story.
I really...
I want to wrap up this episode so I can go home and make sure that
double check
everything's okay. Yeah, because
20 years,
the moving, right? Like,
yeah, but I haven't moved. I just
that's
disappeared.
what scares me, is that you haven't gone anywhere.
I just disappeared.
But I've moved twice in a few years, and now I'm wondering, is that going to come?
Well, you would still be registered to vote. This has happened to me when I've moved. You just have to go to your old location where they have you.
Yeah,
I've done that
I need
before.
to double check.
But I was just not around. As though I was a ghost.
That's just really creepy.
I know.
Really creepy. Well, thanks for sharing that story.
Yes.
I hope that inspires everyone else who's listening.
Yeah.
Please vote. What else are we talking about today?
I think we have questions, right, Val?
We have a couple of listener questions.
Okay.
Listener questions.
This is from Dress in South America.
Dress as in?
Dressel in South America.
Okay.
Have you ever had a lucky piece of clothing or a lucky charm or object?
Yes, I have.
Yes. Go ahead.
I have lucky T-shirts. I find myself having lucky T-shirts throughout the years, and that lucky T-shirt will wind up in threads by the end of its life, and I have to sadly get rid of it.
What's lucky about it? You've worn them on days where something great happened, or
yeah, like it's just my lucky T-shirt.
But why?
Not even just that it's going to bring me luck. It just feels good. I know it'll look good. It's this fail-safe thing.
Is that the same?
And good things have happened in that T-shirt. Yeah.
I had a lucky. I wore it all the time, or I think maybe, you know what? To be honest, I think I was trying to make it lucky.
What was it?
It was a Chewbacca necklace, and it was literally my. Do you remember
this? When
you
were a child?
No, I wore this in my 30s and 40s constantly. There's proof everywhere.
Are we talking about the Wookiee from Star Wars?
Yeah, Chewbacca, and it was a. You don't remember me having this? I constantly wore it. I think I lost it on tour because
no,
it was big. Like Chewbacca was like this big.
Was this?
Like, I'm just going to say like 1.5 inches tall, and his arms moved up like that. It was so cool. And he had his metal.
Yeah.
What do you call that? Sachet? What is that? Sash, his metal sash.
Like a bandolier.
Yeah, like a band. And he
sash.
He was on a silver chain, and it was like hung right here, and I used to wear it on stage all the time.
Wait. I remember this.
All of a sudden, you remember it?
Yeah.
If you saw a picture, you'd be like, for sure you had to have seen me in it.
I don't need to see a picture. I remember this because I recall seeing that and thinking, I didn't know she was such a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
So I remember.
Okay. So when I was a kid, Chewbacca was my thing. Kadra had R2-D2. That was hers.
Kadra's was R2-D2?
Yeah. She had like the pillow. I had everything Chewbacca. But
and Chewbacca was yours.
When I saw this somewhere, I don't know where I got this. I was like, and it felt like a lucky charm when I found it.
Okay.
Like, oh, that's lucky I'm finding the thing I used to have in a necklace form.
Sure.
Because now I can still do it.
And what happened?
Gone. Lost. Not so lucky.
And not so lucky. And you think it was lost on tour?
Probably because that's where I wore it the most. But it
Okay.
could have just fallen. I mean,
It could have just broken off.
yeah. And I didn't feel
Well,
it.
that's
Or you
unfortunate.
would think I'd hear that fall because it's so big. But but then
Was
again,
it clunky?
hmm
It's
but flat. It was really cool. It was like very well done. It was like flat to my chest.
uh-huh.
And it fell right
I'm
in the
sorry you
perfect
lost
spot.
that.
Thanks.
I
And it was
remember
a
that
bummer.
necklace. It's not, I don't have a. I remember this. It wasn't.
And I still think I'm going to find it. It might be in a pocket. It could be that kind of thing. Like,
after
what if
10 years, you think it's still in a pocket?
You never know.
You get rid of clothing so much.
I know, but I also put things away. Like it could be in a box. It could be in a not
But
a
if you
drawer,
loved
but
it
like
that
a-
much, don't you think you would
Well, I
have
think,
been
like, what
conscious
if-
of where you put it?
Let's just say, I went to get a massage, or I went to get or something where I had to take it off,
Uh-huh.
and I put it in a pocket of an old winter coat that I'm going to find one day,
Okay.
like a Goonies. Like it feels almost like I still believe it's around, and I still believe it's lucky. And if I do find it again, I'm going to really insist that it was a lucky charm.
I hope you do find it. So
Thanks.
it winds up being a lucky charm.
Right. More pants in just a moment.
Hey everyone, we're so excited to share a game changer in our skincare routine. It's called OneSkin. It's truly transformed how we think about taking care of our skin.
Absolutely. I've been using OneSkin for a bit now. Absolutely. I've been using OneSkin for a bit now, and the results are incredible, as you can see. My skin feels smoother, more hydrated, and it's so easy to work into my daily routine. The science behind it, Kate, is pretty amazing too.
Exactly, Leisha. OneSkin was created by a team of female longevity scientists. So instead of just masking aging, they're targeting the problem at a cellular level. Now, their key ingredient is OS1 peptide. It goes after those aging cells that start to misbehave as we get older.
And the best part? It's super simple to use. Just cleanse, dry your skin, and apply it twice a day. I've been using OneSkin face and eye creams, and they fit seamlessly, Kate, into my routine.
I agree. I've been doing the same thing. So if you've thought of invasive treatments and that idea makes you nervous, OneSkin is the perfect solution. It works with your body's natural process to keep your skin healthy and radiant. There's no drastic measures needed.
OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company by focusing on the cellular aspects of aging. OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer.
Now, you can get started today with 15% off using code PANTS at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code PANTS.
After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp.
So, have you ever felt like you're holding back parts of yourself, like you're wearing a mask?
Yeah, we're not just talking about Halloween masks here. We all find ourselves putting on a brave face, whether it's at work, with friends, or even family, trying to be someone we think others want us to be.
Exactly. That's why therapy is so important. It gives us a space to explore all those parts of ourselves, the ones we might be hiding, or it helps us feel more comfortable in our own skin.
I love that. Therapy really helps us face those fears and insecurities so we can stop hiding and start embracing who we truly are. It's about giving ourselves some grace and finding the freedom to just be us.
Now, if you're thinking about therapy, we recommend checking out BetterHelp. It's convenient and entirely online, so it fits right into your own personal busy schedule.
All you need to do is fill out a short questionnaire, and BetterHelp will match you with a licensed therapist. And if it's not the right fit, you can easily switch therapists at no extra cost.
Visit betterhelp.com/pants today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/pants. I like the color of your socks with your pants. Jesus. This is a hazard, this couch, or at least your side of it.
You know what happens? I go to
Now you're-
lift myself
now you're
up and I separate.
And now you're askew and the whole thing
I'm going
is
to
out
hold
of...
it down.
Do you want some help?
Well, it's just a
I'm
little.
worried about you. I feel like you're
It's
going to
an online
get eaten
couch.
through the
I might.
cushion.
If I go that way, I had a great
Yeah,
life.
A sad
I'm
death,
not
but
going
a
to say
great life.
it was the way I wanted to go out, but
We'll make something up to make you sound more like a hero.
she really tried. She really tried.
Yeah, we'll think of something.
Whatever. It's a place to sit. Is it the greatest couch? No, we know that.
Well, I don't understand why your side is like just chaos and mine's
Because you don't move, Kate. You plunk down and you're just
do too
there.
move.
You
I
barely
move.
move.
I do too.
Fidget. I've noticed this when I watch the videos. I'm like, quit fidgeting. Do I look fidgety?
Sometimes.
I'm a fidget. Like when you think of Leisha, you go, she's a little fidgety.
I don't think of you as a fidgety person.
I didn't think I was from the inside. I'm like, I don't fidget. When I watch these back, sometimes I'm like,
Maybe it's how your
stop
energy.
touching your shirt.
Maybe it's how your energy releases itself by moving around.
And what are these? What are these doing?
Well, you gesticulate with your hands. I gesticulate with
much.
my hands.
Calm down.
You're Italian.
Hailey.
It's part of the thing. That's normal to gesticulate with your hands.
Okay, but I find that
it's-
my hands are moving a lot, and I just want them to calm down.
What do you want them to do?
Now I'm thinking about them. Don't you hate that in a scene? Has that happened to you?
Oh, it's the worst.
When you're all of a sudden you're like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah,
See, like, what am I doing? My neck's not itchy.
because you're very conscious of yourself right now.
No, it moved, and I noticed it. It's like I'm watching. I'm watching from the inside.
Yeah, and sometimes like you don't know what to do with your hands in a scene.
Yeah,
I
that's why I love props.
years ago, I was working with someone who will remain nameless, and it was on this person's coverage, and the director, I guess they were moving their hands a lot in the scene, and the director, take after take after take, had to say,
Oh no!
can you keep your hands, like, can you just settle down your hand? Because I guess they were doing this a lot or something, but like in that sort of unnatural sort of actor way,
Oh,
because it's very
like-
hard.
like
So-
bad acting?
Truth is, they weren't a bad actor, but you know, when you're just standing there and you don't know what to do with, like, it's just, you kind of overcompensate with your hands in an unnatural way. That's how it was translating, I think, on the monitor. And so it got to the point where the director, I think we were running out of time, and the director was like, "Listen, I need you to keep your hands down by your side and don't move them."
That's
and
such a
the
was that a mean
director-
director?
No, the director was a really
But I
nice
mean, it's
guy,
only gonna
but
make you more
I just felt
self-conscious.
bad. I felt bad for the person I was working with because they just had to stand there. Like their instruction was stand still and say the lines.
No, that's what I'm saying. What a
because they were moving
terrible
around
director.
so much. Like
get it,
and they
but
weren't
I'm-
getting it. So I kind of get it. Like,
kind
you're
of, but
gonna cut
also there's a
back
better way
anyway.
to say it.
well,
I think there's a nicer.
this was like 25 years ago. I think times were a little
Oh,
different
wow.
back then. 25, 26 years ago.
It's almost like sit down and shut up. Like it feels a little like, oh,
I think he was trying to show that less is more. And it was getting to the 11th hour of, just nothing is nothing. Just give me that. I had a lot of sympathy. So I think of that every time.
you don't know what to do with your hands.
I always think of that. And then I thought of it because you were just, you're like a clown.
Well, yeah, but I don't know where I'm looking over here, like my hands over there. I just feel like I like
what?
it happens to me a lot less acting than sitting here on pants. I think I just get fidgety because I'm like, we sit here for 30 minutes. And I'm like, after a while, I'm
Well,
like,
you like to move around a lot.
yeah.
Even just watching television with you is annoying because you can't
Okay,
just
great.
sit down and watch television. You sit down and you're like, wait, do you need a drink? No, I'm good. Do you need a blanket? I don't need a blanket. Yeah, you do. You need a blanket. I really don't need a blanket. Yeah, you do. Let me get you a blanket.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, get a blanket. Thank you. Do you need a pillow? No, I'm good with a pillow. You need a pillow. You don't know how to sit still. You never sit still.
I feel anxious when I have guests over. This happens to me also with the drinks. When everyone arrives, I'm like, everyone needs a drink. And not everyone wants a drink. Val never wants the water, but I make her get the water. I just feel like I have to make people comfortable, and maybe I'm not that natural at it.
No, I understand the whole drink thing, especially when there's 6 people that come in pretty much at the exact
It's a
same
nightmare.
time. I'm talking when it's you and me, and maybe it's Kim and Anna, or just you and me.
If Kim's around, it can't be happening because she usually takes care of
It's
everything.
not Kim.
Okay.
It's just with
it's just
you.
when I'm alone.
And it's like, just sit down. What I want is I want you to watch this with me and not talk.
Wait, is this this also happens if I come over?
No, this is only when I come over I
Okay.
come over to your
I
house.
got to get better at this. Maybe there's a class.
There's no class. I'm just saying. From my understanding, you don't usually sit still. They're not one
I
to
can
sit
tell
still.
you full stop that in my relationship with Kim, she's the one who gets up and can't sit still. So I can't imagine
what it looks like when I see when
when
someone's
we're both
witnessing.
together. If
Both-
I'm the one who sits, she must be 100 times worse than me.
What's that thing that goes up and down, up and down? It's an instrument. You're like that's what you and Kim remind me of.
I really want to know.
sometimes.
what the
Maybe it's like the
instrument
inside of a
is.
piano when you're hitting the keys and you see the thing go up.
the hammer?
The hammer.
Uh-huh.
You two are like a hammer. Like one goes
Is
up.
that
the
what
other
you
one goes
meant to begin with, though, or were you really describing an instrument?
I meant that. I meant
That,
the
you
hammer.
meant the
yeah.
hammer.
Dun, dun, dun,
Okay.
dun, 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 dun. That's how sometimes you two coordinate that way. Up and down, up and down, up and down.
Oh, so you have seen it happen, both of us.
Yeah, but I see
Ugh.
it more with you
Feels
because now
unsettling.
you're doing double time.
I'm so ready for Kim to come home. I think I'm on overdrive. Like,
Yeah.
there's no rest in my world. And look, I don't have children. So
But you
forgive me if I
you
sound
have
like
a cat with an injured back leg. or
Peg
front
is
leg.
not, Peg's leg is upset. She's limping. I'm freaking out about it. I have my vet appointment. I don't know I have chairs and ramps and I don't know what happened.
You said you don't have a ramp. You said you were going to buy
No,
a
I'm going to
ramp.
get a ramp, but I have chairs.
And I suggested you buy one. I build one, and you said thanks, or I can just order one. You
Well, I
didn't
don't
like
have
that
the
idea.
time. When am I going to go build a ramp for
I don't-
Peg right now?
Yeah, I don't
have the
know.
time.
I didn't do the math on that.
But it's upsetting because I don't know what happened, and I feel like everybody turned 9 last week. I just want you to know they're all from September.
You
So
live with
we
a
made
bunch
up a
of-
birthday.
You have a bunch of Virgos in your house.
Mhm. And we made it on the 15th. That's their birthday. They just turned 9. It's very upsetting.
Okay.
I feel like here we go.
Mm-mm.
Everyone's
do that.
old.
Don't do that.
No? Well, I'm just preparing myself. I hate it.
I know you have a lot of trauma.
And then her.
Leisha, I understand you have a lot of trauma around pet death, and I
Yes.
understand why you do, because you've gone through some traumatic things.
Right.
It's in the book. Just saying, you can
It's
read
in the
about it in the book.
Yeah.
But first of all, cats, they're like, they live for like 20 years. I think the cats are fine. The cat hurt her leg. She probably sprained it. Maybe she jumped off of something and she injured it. Get it x-rayed.
All of that's
the
going to
cat's
happen.
going to get like
blood,
some
X-rays.
inflammatory medication. She'll have to, stay off of it. Cat's going to be fine.
I gave her like a 30-minute massage
And
this
as
morning.
for Banjo, who's turned 9, Banjo's a mutt. Banjo's a little survivor. Banjo's not going anywhere. She has a
Okay.
back problem, so you should get a ramp for her.
Oh, I know. I
But
need
it's
the
not like
stairs.
something's suddenly going to happen the moment they hit the double digits.
Well, the second they turned 9, Peg's leg went out.
Oh, Leisha.
I'm like, oh my God. And I'm not, I'm alone and I'm like, Kim, and I'm getting, I'm trying to be mom number 1 over here. Oof.
I'm so sorry.
So that's why I think I'm unsettled, because my life is unsettling right now. But it's okay. I'll get through it.
The cat's going to be okay.
I know. She'll be fine.
There's nothing dire.
Peg.
Happy birthday to all 3 of them.
Oh, thank you. I'll
And
tell them you
they're
said that.
healthy, and I'm going to wish them a happy birthday when I see them later. But they're going to be fine. Just because they turn 9, it's not a death wish. They're going to be fine.
Great. Does anybody have like when a cat limps? What is it usually? Is it like a pulled muscle?
Yeah, or a hip. Like maybe she
Or a
hurt her hip. They jump down off things.
I
Doesn't
know,
Peg
it
jump
seems-
down off a. I watched Charlie, who, by the way, is 14.
Wow,
Charlie's 14.
that's crazy.
This cat is in tip-top shape. I don't see this
Okay.
cat going anywhere anytime soon.
No,
She's like this bionic cat.
She
But we set up a little stool because she also eats up on the counter, just because otherwise I airlift her up every time. But then sometimes I watch her jump down, and they jump down from like a steep angle.
I've always wondered this about cats.
So maybe Peg hurt her back leg doing that.
Right. Or her and Chi-Chi might have gotten in a fight when I was out of town, because they do fight sometimes. They're sisters. And Chi-Chi's mean, and Peg has to like scram
Right.
to get away,
Right.
to basically survive
Right.
and live. And she might have done something like a maneuver that didn't,
Maybe.
because she had a little poke on her nose. And I was like,
Bugsy ha-
Chi-Chi.
Bugsy has a little cut right here, like right underneath her snout. And there was some
Charlie.
there was some blood on the sheets.
Charlie.
When I was out of town, Anna went to a soccer game.
Yeah.
And she said that when she got home, Bugsy had the zoomies, like, or we call it the yips. Bugsy had the yips, like to a degree that she's never seen before. That like Bugsy was insane. And they went to bed that night, woke up, there was blood on the sheets. And Anna's like, I think Charlie and Bugsy got into a fight. And Charlie was like,
Right. Bugsy, listen.
Yeah. And so
I'm
Bugsy
about to tell you something.
a little cut on her snout.
Yeah. That's my suspicion.
Well, one way or another, I assure
Have you seen that the chiropractor on? Are you getting those on Instagram? You're going to get them now that I've said it.
No. I've seen it myself.
And he's all.
Yeah.
Do you believe it?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
How does he know when he's like picking up? He's all.
Yeah. He picks them up like this.
Yeah. Almost like how Anna does to Banjo.
Does Anna crack Banjo's back?
She doesn't crack her, but she holds her like that. She puts her arms under her little pits.
Yeah. And then she
And scrubs her like that.
Yeah.
He kind of does that, but then he does something. And I'm
you see
always
and you see the animal react
right
instinctually, but then they learn and
they probably feel better.
Yeah.
Where
does he live?
He looks
Where does he live?
European to me.
Well, he speaks in those videos.
Oh, I've only seen, I feel mine have music over them and a bunch of crack sounds.
Okay.
It's like a montage of cracking.
I see. Okay.
We live in Los Angeles. I'm sure if
There's
I were,
a pet
there's
chiropractor
going to be
somewhere.
like 100 of them.
Absolutely.
All right, this is from Sean in San Francisco. Do you give good advice? And are you mad when people don't follow it?
Yes. And yes.
How would we ever know if they're following our advice? You think our advice is good? I was going to say no.
I was thinking more on a personal thing with someone.
Oh, I was thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking personally too.
I can't keep track of all the advice.
I only think in pants. Okay. What'd you say?
I said yes and yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You expect someone to follow it?
Well, don't ask for my opinion and advice if you're not going to follow it.
What if they're just getting a bunch of advice and they're picking and choosing how they're going to?
I think I don't believe in that.
You're not just like a sounding board. You're like, if you.
I don't believe you should get advice from a bunch of different people. It's like too many. It's like choosing too many pink colors. It's like you should have two things, tops 3, and that's pushing it, and then come up with some sort of decision from there.
Okay.
But I think I give good advice.
You've given me great advice.
And you've given me
I don't know if I've listened to all of it, but
well, then that's your problem.
I try. I know.
That's when you fucked it up.
Here I am.
Yeah.
I think I'm how do I say this? I don't think I'm not a know-it-all, but I feel very confident in my advice. Because I've been with a know-it-all. I know what a know-it-all is. I'm definitely not that. That's someone who's just like insisting on things. I feel just confident in what I'm saying. But I kind of don't care if someone follows it. I'm a no on the second one.
I think you do care.
Really? Why? I don't. I bet I kind of don't.
Okay.
I don't need to control people's lives and like,
no, it's not
they
about
all need to do it.
No, it's not about control. It's just I think I've heard you say things where I think, maybe you
like
said
what?
Like you said, like, look, you don't need my advice. You don't need to follow my advice. It's just, and then
No, I don't say that. I don't say
you
that.
do too.
That doesn't sound like me.
Okay.
Really?
Look, you don't have to listen to me. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's saying you don't. Yeah, you don't
but
have
I just
to listen
think
to this.
blah, blah, blah.
Because I don't care. Right. Here's what I think. I'm confident when I'm saying, but do what you want with it. No, I think we should plug our book again.
Oh, let's plug the book.
I hate to say it, but please buy our book.
Listen, who's going to plug it if it's not us?
Exactly. Plug away.
We have a book. We have a book coming out.
We wrote a book. We didn't just have a. We don't have a book. We wrote a book. Which I think is a distinct.
You and I wrote a
difference.
Book.
Yes, we did.
We wrote a book, and
people were like, "How do you do a shared memoir?" I'll
good
tell you.
Question.
You do separate chapters,
or you divvy up shared memories, and you delineate, offset and onset, or or like group activities. I'll take these activities and you take those activities.
Right. In the shared L word experience. That's what we did.
Even outside of that.
Otherwise, we're repeating because we were both there. Even though we have different points of view.
Right. The only thing that we don't share directly is how we grew up.
Our childhoods. We weren't together yet.
We weren't. But the universe was plotting. Yeah.
It was like, ooh, I have something in mind for
Just
you
you
two.
wait.
Okay. But
It's coming.
we wrote it. It's coming out June 3rd. But please don't wait to buy it.
No,
That's
you
really
can
the point.
pre-order.
But pre-orders are important. Why, Kate?
Why? Because it indicates to the
Retailers.
That there's a demand for this book, which in turn helps the publishers produce more copies, which in turn helps the authors get out there and make the book successful and in demand.
Yes.
And where can they find these pre-orders, Leisha?
There is a link on sogayforyou.com.
It's
Kate.
in all of our
everywhere.
It's all on all three of our socials, you, myself, and Pants.
Yes. Or you just plug in the old
SoGayForYou.com,
Yeah.
the old-fashioned way, and it'll direct you right to all the links to pre-order.
And Christmas is coming up. If you want to buy Kate a birthday present, she'd love the book.
I would love one. And you like to sell them as Doritos, so don't just buy one, buy many.
Yeah. Or a pair of pants. You can't have one leg without the other. Buy two books.
Boom.
One for Kate, one for me. That's cute.
Yeah. And then we can read it and we can start a book club.
Well, we're definitely going to read it. We're also going to do an audiobook. People were wondering. 100% we're doing that. We're doing that in the new year, I think.
Yes.
I'm going to try to lower my voice a little when I read.
Okay.
And then what else about it?
Because reading a book isn't hard enough. You want to try to lower your voice as well. Smart.
Well, I'm trying not to kill people.
Right.
I wonder in the end how long our book will be in the audio version. Like how many hours?
I'm sure.
And then you can speed it up. Like if you listen on like Audible or something, you can speed up how fast you want to hear it. So we could be the book like this. It could be like that. You never know. Or you could slow it down.
That was really good.
Thanks. Or you could slow it down.
Can you do the slow down?
When I was... No, not as good. I sound like you. What would you... Oh my God, if you slow down, Kate.
1, 4, 3, 5.
It's going to be great. I can't wait for this book to come out. Please buy it.
June 3rd, 2025 is where it'll get in your...
How about a family member that doesn't understand the gay world? Send them a book.
Yeah,
Surprise.
that's a good idea.
Surprise in the mail.
Or if you
Leave it on
have
the front
a friend
porch.
or a relative who's just come out and kind of feels alone, get them the book. It'll make you feel less alone.
If you're a gay hater, buy the book and burn it. Just buy it first. Everybody needs one.
Everybody needs a book.
Okay, pants.
Pants. That was great.